Welcome back to Midranges Disc Golf. I'm wearing a hat today so that you don't realize that I'm wearing the same stuff as I did yesterday when I filmed the front nine practice round. Today we are back at Crest Creek Farms outside of Chicago in West Chicago because tomorrow I have a tournament. I filmed the front nine yesterday, but that went live earlier today as you're watching this video. Both of these videos will go live the day that I'm at my tournament, which you can follow with my PDGA number right here. But we're about to get onto the back nine. I've done some practice putting and we just want to figure out what these holes are and see how to attack the back nine of this course so that I can win my second MA1 tournament ever and in a row, because I won last weekend as well, in case you're new to the channel. All right, here we are at hole 10. Looks like it's right in front of us, about 212 feet. The one thing that's weird about this tournament, I think they're switching some of the tee pads or some of the baskets between the two rounds, which is tee times, but it's 2 rounds in one day, which is kind of weird. So that kind of stinks because they only put one of the layouts here. Left side tall grass plays as OB. Tall grass on right side stops short of tree line. Anything inside the tree line is safe. Looks like to keep everything safe, because the tree line is safe, you either need to throw a turnover or a forehand. Forehand probably being a little bit more popular. So I'm gonna throw the Toro. That's the miss to make. It's in the trees. Definitely gonna practice from putting inside those trees. Do wanna leave it wider, so I am gonna try the Justice and Emac Truth. Go ahead and try the Justice. Oh, that's OB. That's bad. Maybe a turnover. I'm just gonna take this one out as early hole jitters. Emac Truth. That's better. Those are easy to throw too. And that's on the outside of the tree line. I will try a turnover with my really flippy pure, but this one should never come to the left either. Yeah, a little bit long, but that's a good shot. Those are good options. I'm glad we're playing this hole 10. I'm sure I'll be warmed up at that point and can actually throw forehands, but it just depends. If my forehand doesn't feel good, I know I have that turnover line. That's the importance of practicing both turnovers and forehands, because you do want to listen to your body even inside of the round. So let's practice putting from inside the tree. And let's go grab our freaking Justice from out of bounds. Where the heck did the Justice go? Oh, there actually is a line through here from the ground. Not good, but yeah. Especially if you go long and miss it, then you're going OB. Oh, wow, these Emac Truths are good. I probably will just throw this Emac Truth here. Second Emac Truth just barely in this tree line, which is safe. The pure is way long and the Justice is lost. All right, here we're at hole 11. It says 290 to the A pin, straight in there. OB to the left, hazard beyond it. Tree line to the right is safe. So if anything, you want to bail out right. But at 290, probably gonna be a Thunderbird forehand or a Fuse turnover. I'm gonna try the Fuse and then we'll try some forehands. Ooh, that is a problem though, is that cut roll. I didn't get that high enough, so it didn't quite get over. I'm gonna try the Explorer, the Thunderbird, and then just my stable Grace. And we'll see if I push any of them too far or too short. Thunderbird first. It's a great flip up. Oh, that's perfect. I don't need to touch a Grace because it landed about 8 feet behind the basket on a really good line. I'm gonna try this Explorer. My forehand's feeling better. That disc is slightly more stable than the Thunderbird and slightly shorter as well. Just in case, real quick, I'm just gonna try my pure hyzer flip to turn line. Oh no, where's that going? Okay, that's in the tree line somewhere. Got plenty of distance, but I threw it way too high. All right, Fuse is here. Honestly, not bad, especially get that a little more height. It's kind of an ace run. It looks like the B position we can see from here is in there, so honestly, at that point, it could be a Grace on a forehand, but since I'm not practicing it and I'm not gonna go back and practice it, I don't wanna throw my arm out, and I'm okay taking some pars intentionally. If I just lay up here, a simple Toro shot, boom, easy 3, even though it probably does play as a par 3, because I'm sure the mistake is bringing that hazard into play. If it's a par 4, I'll go for it, because I can still bring that hazard into play, take an easy par, and I might be able to get the eagle. I don't think I have to worry about it. Oh, wow, actually, Explorer is perfect. It's a little bit shorter, a little more stable of a disc, so Explorer's Park, Thunderbird is right up here. This course looks very scoreable. I'm frustrated that they don't have the V positions up or like tell you what it is, but this course looks like, I don't like putting numbers in my head, but across the tournament, I like to be double digits, you know? Average 5 or 6. We'll see what happens. All right, hole 12 is a 596 foot par 4. The basket is basically straight this way, and you guys are sitting on a path right now, and there's another path that runs all the way along this. I think about 300 feet down there is where it is, and it's OB as a river. Meaning if you land on it, you take a stroke penalty, play from where it was inbounds, and then throw again. I don't think it should be an issue to get past because it's pretty open past this tall grass, which is all hazard. And so honestly, it's like a big landing zone down there for some distance drivers. So now's the time to just rip one out there just to keep it in the middle. Maybe my medium stability Grace. That's so high. That's bad. That might be on the path that's so short. Okay, maybe. One of the things to know about this now, especially, I didn't realize it before I threw that, my body did though, is that we're going up a hill here. And in order to get really big distance, you need to keep the nose of your disc downward. It can't be facing up like that one, because when it's nose up, the wind hits it, it starts to stable out, is what they say, meaning it's starting to start to go slower and go to the left on a right-hand backhand. So keep your nose down, especially going up a hill, is very hard unless you throw an Anheuser flex shot, which is where instead of throwing it flat, if this is how it's coming out of my hand, a hyzer would be like this, where it's gonna go sweeping and then just go to the left. An Anheuser would be like this, where this side of this disc is up, it goes to the right and then comes back to the left if you have an overstable enough disc like this Rive. So since there's a really big landing zone out there, I think the play to keep the nose down and get really good distance is an Anheuser flex shot. This grace is my flippiest grace. Not even gonna worry about that because I have to throw it on hyzer and it'd be really hard to keep the nose down going uphill and not turf it. So we're gonna try this Rive on a big Anheuser flex shot. Yep, nose is way down and that is already where that other disc is and still trucking. I'm hoping that got close to about 380, 400 feet. That's really solid. That's gonna be gone. Might be a little shorter than my Rive because they tend to go slightly farther because my arm speed's getting faster and they're 13 speed disc rather than 11 speed, but let's see where they landed. All right, here's the first grace. Honestly, this is farther than I thought. I thought it was about 300 feet. That actually looks like it's probably closer to about 400 feet, the road, the OB. Is this disc, just according to UDisc, oh, I can actually arrange it. It says 340, so it did not go far. So that means that if this is in front of me, oh yeah, so that's right around 400 feet. So I honestly, instead of doing what I did, like I said, not gonna go back and practice it, but this is why it's important to see landing zones. I might just throw like an Explorer or even my Thunderbird, just get to this area, because from here, I'm just gonna practice some up shots real fast. See this Toro. That should be really good. Okay, actually pretty short. Maybe adjust this. That's really good though, too, with the Justice. As long as it doesn't skip. Yeah, that's parked. Let's go see where the other Grace and the other two Rives went. I don't see them on the path, but that's kind of scary. Here is the Rive. That is not far enough. I mean, I juiced this. This is a really easy up shot, but I mean, what if I throw that 8 feet shorter? Ooh, I hope you can see me. Right over there is a plaque. It says 400 feet. So these both went about 410, 420, which are great shots, but I just don't need that, you know? I would rather just make an upshot that's 80 feet farther. That's not crazy difficult. 100 foot versus 180 feet upshot. I'd rather make that happen and not put the OB into play. I'm really glad I did practice this upshot too, because even that Justice is short. I mean, this Toro, that's a makeable putt if I don't have my bag on and I'm putting, and I practiced that morning. Here's the Justice though. I like that layout play a lot more. I mean, it could be a mid-range, but I'd rather just put a fairway driver, even though it's downhill, and I might launch a fairway driver. If I just throw my overstable Explorer, easy. Just get out there, be happy. All right, hole 13. Looks like the A is there. It looks like the B is just like the landing zone for A plus a little bit. I'm a little scared to play these B positions because I don't know where they are. Forgot to grab my Pure somewhere. Oh, it's in the woods. Crap, I gotta grab the Pure. I'll play this out and then go grab that, either Toro or Pure. Probably Toro, just to throw flat at that tree, just a little inside of that tree to the right and let it skip up towards the basket. A little early release, but that's totally fine. Now let's try to ace it with the Pure, have some fun. Not even close, my guy. I mean, both of those are good shots. As long as you hit that gap initially, you're pretty happy. I think we figured out the line there. And if there's nothing interesting on that green, I'll see you on hole 14's tee. All right, here we are, hole 14, 245, right in between those two trees there. I'm sure it'll change for round two, and that won't be frustrating at all. It seems pretty simple. 245, just a pure shot. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Park job. Let's take a fun line then. Toro through these trees on a flex line on a forehand. Double park job? We'll see. Not quite parked. I probably hit some of these stumpage on the way through, but I'd say this is pretty much gimme range. Whew, glad I made that second one. Otherwise, I couldn't have left that in the video. I'm also so cold right now. Like that weird temperature where it's hot enough to not wear a jacket, but then the sun goes down and now I'm freezing. But I did bring a backup shirt today, so I'll probably throw that on. This Toro, whew, also kind of gimme range. Yeah, there we go. I remembered how to putt a little bit. All right, here we are at hole 15. It looks like we are going 263. There's a lot of shorter holes here, so it'll probably be good for scoring separation if they do elongate the course. Just wish I could practice it. It says all tall grass is hazard. The hobbit hole area is safe. Maybe that's to the left probably. So probably just throw something like my Pure, which doesn't have a lot of ground play, at the ground at the bottom of the hill, and it should skip up the hill a tiny bit. Hopefully give us a tap in. Get this phone out of my pocket. Set it down, because someone said that I broke my camera because I threw my phone. My phone's camera is broken. But that's not why my other camera broke. I don't throw that around. Really bad. Really, really bad. Yeah, I just need to throw that harder. The other benefit about a hole like this is that hill there, if you don't throw something high, like I'm gonna throw this mid-range, if I just throw it into the ground, then I don't really have to worry about it. I could throw it harder, or I could just throw it really soft and leave myself a 15-foot putt. Did you guys find a Pure on hole 11?
I got you.
Really? A white one?
Yeah.
Oh, you're the best. I was about to walk back and go grab it. Thank you. Let's go.
Ace hole, or you just filming yourself?
Oh, I'm just filming myself. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Here, I'll give you some minis. Bonanza disc golf. Here, if you guys want to each take a mini, I really appreciate it.
Check it out. Cool.
Thank you. Shout out to that guy who just found this. If you ever see me, I'll give you a free mini. Check out how cute that is. Little hobbit hole there. That's unfortunately my lie. Got a circle 2 putt. I don't normally like putting during these rounds, but I really like circle 2 putting. Good height. There we go. No! Yeah, I just need to throw that disc harder. I can almost put full power into it as long as I don't throw it high. All right, here we are at hole 16. It says 547, just up around the corner here. Got to give a real quick shout out to Jasper, who when I was filming a video a couple days ago was the first subscriber ever to just randomly come up to me and say hi. So I actually didn't realize what was happening until after that. So I had him come and I gave him some special minis that were like unique for the ones that were made. And he told me not to take this stupid Simon line. So I'm not going to. Okay, looking at how far that grass is back there, and it's saying it's about 340 to 370. So I probably want to throw something 350 feet down there. And I think I'm probably gonna go forehand because I don't even think I can push something 380, and all the tall grass on this hole is OB. I am a little scared because I'm gonna have to push that OB if I want to do that. I'm also gonna try to throw my river and my fuse to see how far they get, because if they give me looks and I can throw something understable towards that left side that finishes to the right, that's probably a good play for me, honestly. See how this Grace forehand feels, because if this feels good, I really like forehanding this Grace right now, but I'm interested to see how everything goes. Okay, that actually stayed in bounds for almost that whole time. If it doesn't push long, oh, it almost pushed long. My forehand's getting all right. I think I just have really consistent releases with that disc. Let's try this Rive real fast on some hyzer with some flip up. Those are both really good shots. I'm gonna try my Thunderbird just to see how far this pushes, because I don't have to worry about pushing it long because I can't throw it as far as the Grace. It does have a lot more turn though, so I can even leave that one more inside because that's flirting with that OB big time. But wow, that's pretty safe too. What about my Stable Explorer? This is really interesting to figure out, especially because we are going downhill. Thing is very stable as long as it cuts that corner. Interesting, that's far enough to cut the corner. I'm thinking forehand is a pretty safe play. I am just gonna try this fuse though on a pretty big anhyzer line here. Hyzer flip. That's gonna be high enough that it'll probably fade out of it, but it does just drop down, which is nice. That's a really good spot. I'm not even gonna try the river. No, there's so much OB, I don't want to push it. One more forehand, Rive. This is very interesting to figure out. Those are coming out clean. All right, that's interesting. You guys want to play through me? One thing that I don't really often think about before these tournaments is just like having confidence-inducing play. Like going to a course that's easier for you, or playing around that you're like, I know I can do well, because having a good mental game is so important. And for me, just hitting the fairway on all 6, 7, however many of those shots was so confidence-inducing. It's like, okay, I know I can be accurate. I don't have to like play against myself. I can start to not get aggressive, but just play smart. Like I know that I can hit the fairway because I just did it a billion times. So just trust myself, I can do it. And that's a really good feeling to have going into a tournament. Let's go see where this spread is real fast, because none of these are bad, I don't think, and I want to play from a couple of them. Thunderbird. Ooh, this is close though. This Rive right here, the last one I threw, is about 10 feet from OB. The Grace is also very close to OB, so honestly, just trying to put it on maybe slightly more hyzer, even on that same line is good, because it'll penetrate closer to the middle of the fairway, like right around here, which will be solid. But for those positions, I have my pink Rive right here. Fuse is right there, and I should have Explorer. Yep, Explorer. Oh, that was actually a really good shot, cutting the corner. I like that a lot, actually. I'm gonna try a couple quick shots, one from this pile and one from that pile. Both of these are pretty confident mid-range plays. Could just be like the Thunderbird again on a forehand, but I like just throwing the straighter mid-range, probably this EMAC Truth. Did I push it way deep? No, pushed it perfect. All right, good to know. Let's try the fuse, slight turnover. A little too much on the turn there. So from up here, honestly, this is a pretty good spot to just do another forehand in. Yeah, that one and the EMAC Truth are both in the bullseye. So I'm happy with honestly either of those. I think I have this hole relatively figured out. Hopefully I can take the birdie on it both rounds, especially because if that's a 4, that's a much easier pin position. This is the fuse, circle 2 putting. Yep. 2 for 2, 2-0. That's solid, that's good putting. And this is our spread for par, birdie, and then these two are parked. All right, this camera's pretty, but I'm also not the best photographer, YouTuber. Hopefully this exposure stays good. I'm gonna try to make sure that you can see the disc. Got 610 feet, such a pretty hole up and to the left. Everybody's looking for disc though, because left is OB, tall grass, eats up everything. That's why I had to look for my justice for 10 minutes. Right is safe. And so honestly, I'm thinking the shot, obviously distance driver off the tee, only 610 feet. So it could be distance driver to mid-range or putter, depending on how far we push it. But we are going uphill, so probably plays closer to 650, 660. The play here, I think though, is kind of where those guys are sitting and standing, is to put a disc onto that hill. Because you really want to be in flat ground, but there's not going to be a lot of flat ground. So I'd rather just push far up this hill and then be throwing at a similar elevation towards the basket instead of up at the basket again, especially if there's some wind. I think the play as well has to be to match the grade of the ground. So if you see the ground, it goes at this angle right here. So I want my disc to finish at this angle. That way, if it does cut roll, it's gonna cut roll up the hill and not go anywhere. If it finishes on this angle, like going to the right, like on a forehand, or if I just really turn something over and it just finishes on that angle, if it goes like that, it could roll all the way back down towards the OB grass because of how much there is. So the play, I think, is gonna be an overstable flex line. That way you go over this OB and come back, or a hyzer flip. So I'm gonna try the hyzer flip first because that doesn't bring any of this OB into play. So we'll practice both of them. And I cannot see anything, but we'll go with this Grace hyzer flip line first. Where the heck? I can't even see it. I hope you guys can see it. Oh yeah, that's perfect. See how that kind of matched the grade? I did not throw it right enough, so that gives me a lot of room to know, hey, you can throw this thing a little bit righter. All right, that's really solid. Just straight up the gut. It's gonna get onto that same angle and match it. Let's try the overstable Grace. That's the problem with that line. I have to leave that a little bit to the left, and that's gonna be OB. I hope I find that disc. Oh no, that'll be bad. So I like that hyzer flip line. Try that overstable flex line again, but if I lose both these discs, I'm gonna cry. Okay, I actually turned that one over, so that's gonna be good. The first one I just threw flat, and that's kind of the best example of matching the grade. It started to flex out of it, and then it hit the hill pretty much at the grade of the hill. So that's solid. Let's find that Grace and practice some up shots. I think this is my shortest disc, and this is a good time to talk about throwing off of hills because I can throw standstill backhand, but I hate that. So this is really where you kind of want to throw a forehand, at least for me. Honestly, running up at this angle is not that bad. So this is not super steep, and that way I'm going back towards the basket. I'm not exactly sure how far it is. They're about to tap out, so I'm gonna have to throw pretty fast. 300 feet, so forehand. Honestly, this Thunderbird might not be enough, which is good to know because if it goes short and is down that hill, not really gonna leave me a putt. See my truth again. I'd rather be up on that high side, hyzering in. Yeah, still short. Honestly, this might be a good play to, let's see if I can get that Thunderbird there. Nope, not comfortable at all. Same spot, even shorter. Even shorter. Those other discs are a lot farther, the flippier ones, so I'm gonna throw the flippier one for sure. All right, and here we have the flippier Rive, and then it's definitely gonna be one of the flippier Graces, because here's flippier Grace 1, there's flippier Grace 2, much better shots. All right, I'm super grateful I found that Grace right when I walked in there. Let's look at putting on this green here, which isn't the best, but shouldn't be too terrible at all. Here's that Thunderbird forehand, not great, and then this Emac Truth, which I left a little wide. Oh, gross. It'll be a lot easier to play this without the sun in my eyes. Basket for 18 is just straight up the hill there. I hope you guys got a good idea of what my game plan is and how I prepare for a tournament. This might be my last tournament before I try to play on the tour, which is kind of crazy to think about. I have a lot of work to do to get there. I'm not good enough to play on the tour right now. I need to add about 100 feet of distance to my forehand and backhand to feel real confident about it. And that's what a lot of this offseason is. Hoping I can play another at least 970, 980 rated tournament and hopefully get my first 1,000 rated round this weekend, because that's one of my goals for these 4 tournaments this weekend. And so far I've gotten 992, 985, 970s, I think another 980, but no 1,000s. So hopefully we can get that. It's all gonna end right here on hole 18. Hopefully the first or second round, I'll be able to take a birdie that pushed me over that 1,000 marks. 275 right up the hill, and there is path long that is OB. Probably need to throw it about 330 feet of power. I think we're gonna try our flippier Explorers, which are Opto, oh, that's a river. I'll try that too. The beat-in Opto, as well as this Recycle. Not to the right, and not quite flat. Okay, that's great distance though. That's good to know. This is probably the right disc for distance. That thing is so beef. All right, let's try my flippier Rive. Now I'm just throwing, I guess. There we go. Put that one way out wide on a lot of hyzer and a lot of power. That's what we like to see after a million throws. I'm gonna tap out real quick, and if you want to see what happened at my last tournament, second round, which may or may not have won, you can check that video out right over here while I'm tapping out. I know this was the second video today. There should be one tomorrow, tournament recap, but you can check on those scores already with my PDG number that was at the beginning of the video. Honestly, none of these were even that bad. Oh yeah, this is the first disc I threw. See you tomorrow. Woo!